I'm Chris Rudolph, the head brewer at Penn Brewery.
I'm Lauren Hughes. I'm the assistant head brewer at Penn Brewery. Alright, so what we're doing, we're making Penn pills today. And what we're doing is what's called a mash. And that's when we mix the grain with some warm water. And that's going to take the enzymes that are already in the grain. And then those enzymes are going to convert the starches to sugar, which are yeastily and give you alcohol. At Penn, we do a little bit different mash than most breweries in town. We do what's called a decoction mash, and that's when we heat up certain portions of the mash to a certain temperature to get more starch to sugar conversion, and also, like we're doing right now, we'll take a section of the mash and actually cook it. And what that's going to do is give you a lot of those Maillard reactions, like burnt toast. It's going to give you a lot more flavor without adding a lot more body. So for lagers, it works really well. You still get a crisp, clean beer, but with a lot of flavor to the way that we're doing the mash. Put the portion of the mash that I just cooked into the main portion of the mash. It's going to bring it up to our mash out temperature, and then the next couple of things we'll do is a boil off and then our runoff, where we actually separate the what we call wort. It's unfermented beer from the grain. This process, so now that we have all the grain in the lauter tun, we do what's called a Vorlauf. It's a fancy German word for recirculate. So what we're doing is there's underlets underneath this lauter tun. We're just cycling the wort back on top of the bed. Gives it a nice kind of weighs the bed down, and that bed acts like a little bit of a filter for when we start sending to the kettle and take all that wort from the grain.
I started working here actually in 2008 in the bottle shop. Yeah, I started working in the bottle shop. Just helped stacking cases. It was a summer job, and then eventually a full-time position opened up. So I said, why not? I got to take the opportunity. So I started learning how to run the bottling line, running the kegging machine. Eventually a brewing position opened up. So I said, all right, why not? So I started learning how to brew on these very kettles, and eventually a head brewer position opened up, and I said I might as well take that.
Alright, so once our wort looks clear in the side glass and we boil off, what we'll do is what's called running off. And that's when I'm actually going to collect all the sugary wort into this is now the boil kettle. And this is where we'll boil it. The boil kind of does a couple of things. It's going to condense that wort. It's where we add our hops for bittering and aroma. And it's also going to sterilize it. Once we're done boiling, we'll send it over to that guy over there. Exactly what the name says. It's going to spin that liquid around. That's going to condense any of the protein and hop matter that's left over into a nice little cone. So that way when I transfer it into the fermenter, when I'm done, none of that stuff gets through. And then right next to the whirlpool is what we have is called a plate chiller. What that's going to do is help cool down the beer. You really want that beer to be cooled fast so that no free bacteria or wild yeast gets in there, nothing gets in there. It also makes it so the brewer's not standing around all day waiting for boiling wort to cool. So what that guy does is it has a water inlet, and the water goes on one side of the plates, and then the hot beer goes on the other side of the plates. The water is cool, the beer is hot, transfers the heat, and then it gets to the fermenter at the right temperature.